day, fellow procurement officers and supply chain managers. We're going to discuss about supplier selection and performance evaluation. This will lead us to proper selection of suppliers and vendors, how to select and evaluate supplier performance in order to maintain few but quality suppliers. Supplier selection and performance evaluation is more critical and strategic rather than traditional buying. In traditional buying, buyers most of the time focus on price as a primary factor. They are looking for cheapest materials. And the traditional buying maintains a long list of suppliers, or they usually base it on multiple suppliers. We have to reduce the number of suppliers on our file, and we have to reduce the number of suppliers and people we are dealing with. It's only a waste of time to maintain a lot of suppliers who are not compliant to our requirements. There is the supplier-based reduction. Supplier-based reduction is strategic, maintaining few but qualified suppliers. And this is done by creating criteria to consider in selecting and evaluating suppliers and vendors. And these 5 factors should be our parameters for their performance. The first factor to consider in modern procurement system is the supplier should have the quality system, capacity, second, and third is delivery system, fourth is service, and fifth is flexibility. Quality is a primary factor in selecting supplier to deal with. Quality, that the supplier can comply with the quality required by the end user or our end user or our production plant. Selected supplier should have the capacity to produce the quantity that we need based on the purchase order. And they should deliver it on time as per indicated on the purchase order, since this is based on our forecast and production planning. Fourth is service, or the after-sales service. Whenever we have a problem with their deliveries, they should be the first guy who should answer our queries and issues regarding quality, damages, and delayed deliveries or other issues. So this has something to do with after-sales service. And number 5 is flexibility. On the part of the supplier or manufacturers, manufacturers should be flexible in terms of quantity that we require and delivery time that we may change in case of urgency or in case of some unexpected events. In this lecture, we have created a documentation checklist as a guide to procurement officer or buyers. The following questions should be asked or checked by the buyer during or before the negotiation process. The documentation checklist, there are 10 questions as you will see here, and there is the yes/no answer. The first question here, does the supplier maintain quality assurance manual? That's the question number 1. If the answer is yes, the supplier has a manual, we can give 10 points or 20 points. It depends on your criteria and ranking or grading system. But this will take you around 100% compliance in order to be accepted as certified supplier. Number 2 questions, test and inspection procedures, receiving, and the other one is in process. Does the supplier have the procedures in testing and inspection of incoming parts or items from the sub-suppliers? So our supplier, they also have their own suppliers, and they should also be doing their own inspection and testing. So in receiving incoming, items should be checked. And during the production process, you will see that there is test and inspection procedure in process. That in-process audit should be done by the production people from their side and usually from the side of the buying party. So there will be 2 QA monitoring personnel during the production process. So I think this is one way to monitor and to check if the supplier is complying with the samples that they have shown to us. Okay, samples are always good. So let us check during the production process how they do it and how they will maintain the number 3, which is the workmanship standard. The workmanship standard, okay, we can compare our previous suppliers or we can compare based on our actual materials that we're using, comparing it with the previous workmanship and currently, so we can gauge who's doing better. Number 4 is equipment maintenance, or sometimes they call it TPM, or total productive maintenance. That the supplier learn to maintain their equipment in order to produce better products. Number 5 in documentation checklist is about process and procedures. Process and procedures should be streamlined and focus on the requirements of the buyers or customers. Usually, the process and procedures should favor the customers or buyers, and the process and procedure should be streamlined, no red tape. Number 6 is production card travelers. Actually, this production card travelers, usually they call it monitoring card in the production plant. The card travelers indicate the batch number, and in case of defective products, they can track down the equipment and the section who did it defectively. They know where defects occur by having the traveler's card. They call it traveler's card or monitoring card in the production plant. Number 7 is inspection materials tag. Does the supplier maintain or segregate non-compliant or out-of-specs materials or parts? Are they using materials tag? Usually, suppliers in their own warehouse, as well in our warehouse, we should also have materials tag. Red tag means the items were rejected. Yellow tag means the item is for inspection with the possibility to pass the quality requirements. Third is green card, means the item is ready for use. It's already good and inspected. And number 8, does the supplier maintain non-conformance report, or the so-called NCR? In ISO 9000, they call it NCR, or non-compliance report or non-conformance report. In our company abroad, they call it OSD&E report, overshot, damage, and exception report. Exception report means that the items they delivered from the supplier side is defective. It's either defective, shortage, or damage. And this non-conformance report, a copy will be given to the supplying party, a copy to the purchasing department, a copy to the QA department, and of course to the accounting department for payment purposes, whether to delay the payment or hold the payment in case that this has not been resolved. Number 9, documentation checklist. Number 9, pre-audit of plant. Did pre-audit or visit to the plant of the suppliers were done by the group? There should be pre-audit before audit. Okay, pre-audit of manufacturers or suppliers plant. And number 10 is plant visit to see the actual site. You know how important is plant visit? There are some suppliers, not all, there are some suppliers who will negotiate with you, but your items will be shifted or subcontracted by another party. So, no subcontracting to another party should be done. That's why we're asking the capability of the supplier to deliver our requirements in terms of quantity and delivery date. Now, this is the last page of the supplier selection. Once you have audited the supplier, you will indicate your findings. There is the supplier certification determination, indicating here supplier's name, supplier items that they are going to deliver, and then the location of the supplier, and then you can see here the levels of approvals. If the supplier pass on the certified level suppliers, they are certified because they got a grade ranging from 79% to 84%. Preferred is the highest level. The highest level is preferred level of certification, ranging from 95% to 99%. And there are some below conditional. Conditional suppliers, 75 to 79. These are suppliers who can still have the opportunity to develop in order to comply with our requirements. So, there are two dominant personnel in the plant audit or supplier audit. The two dominant personnel in the supplier audit is the quality assurance manager, representing on the part of the end user, production people, purchasing manager, representing buyers or purchaser on the part of the buying people. So guys, implementing the supplier selection criteria will eliminate non-performing vendors and supplier, and of course will eliminate our headaches. There is a finding from the Purchasing Council that 80% of our problem in products and finished products, 80% came from non-compliant suppliers. So supplier is very critical. So we have to develop our suppliers, and we have to select only the best suppliers. Likewise, I would like to add the purchasing ethics and guidelines. No gift-giving policy should be implemented that may influence the decision of the buyers. So this is the purchasing ethics and guidelines for all, and this should be cascade down or communicated to all suppliers that no gift-giving policy is a part of our negotiation. Guys, thank you very much. I hope I have given my best, and this will be a solution to all procurement issues. Thank you.